the cycle of life.
Exactly.
Yes.
He's made it completely unique and romantic. It's the same old story. We've got this monster. We've got to kill it. We've got to destroy it.
Yeah.
And you're that person. But it's a romance. He's unique in what he's done up here.
That's the fundamental principle of the movie is, what if the creature from the Black Lagoon was actually the good guy? That's the fundamental. And what if the FBI agent or whatever was, he was the one with the problem?
I mean, Frankenstein was misunderstood as well.
I mean, Russians are always bad, no matter what.
Well, wouldn't go that far.
Okay, over here, white t-shirt.
How is Guillermo different from other directors you guys worked with, both in theater and films? And also, is the film turned out differently from when you first read the script to when you saw it, the final product?
How is this director different than any directors you worked with, and
is the film turned out differently when you watch it than when you first read the script? And how?
turn out differently when you first?
Well, I'm just going to be belligerent and say I find it hard to quantify human personality. I mean, people that are truly unique defy human vocabulary. You can't say, he was nice, or he was special, or he was this, or he was that. I mean, he's Guillermo. You know, that's the only way you can describe him. I mean, I don't know how, you know, all I can say is he, like all of the directors I love working with, he works harder than most of us can fathom working. I mean, the film is his devotion. It's the only thing he cares about when he's making it. It's the only thing he thinks about. He lives, breathes, eats it. You know, between takes, he's editing it. I've never seen a director do this before. He's at the monitor editing the scene between setups. He's obsessed with it, and it's his vision. And there are other people, you know, that brought him the idea. Daniel Krause brought him the idea, and his screenwriting partner. And you know, it's not like he gets sole ownership of it, but once he decides he's going to do something, the relentlessness of his pursuit is, I've never really seen anybody so determined to make a movie.
Well, Scorsese gets nuts.
Yeah.
You've been through that.
He's like a general leading an army to complete his vision of what he thinks the story should be, but he's involved in every single aspect of the filmmaking. Everything you see up there, whether it's how the creature looks, he's obsessed with every single scale on that body.
Oh yeah.
And the color changed a number of times. The shape of the revising and revising. Also, he created a biography for, I think, every character in the piece. So there were background stories about what kinds of food they liked, where they were from. Your work was done for you when you arrived. That's never happened to me before. It's usually up to us to sort of, we're given the text and we create a backstory for it. In this case, he knew what he wanted. He gave us this stuff and said, use it if it's valuable. If it's not valuable, do it yourself. Yeah.
But it's that passion. It's like, I'm not even gonna let anybody else, if somebody else is being lazy, I'll do their job for them. Because this film means that much to me.
Absolutely.
I will not let this film falter. In terms of what the end result, I mean, it's hard for me to say because I would just go watch everything as we were shooting it. I would just go watch it. So I knew it was beautiful. I mean, this DP, Dan Louston, I mean, the cinematography in this movie is off the charts.
Yeah.
My favorite DP until I saw this movie was Deakins, but I think Louston's
Very
been up
special.
Deakins. And he's the sweetest guy, unassuming. What, is he Danish? He's Danish. Yeah, he's from Denmark.
Yeah.
Sweetest guy.
Can either of you sing?
No.
I've been known to sing before, yeah.
You know,
Why do you ask?
Well, because your next role, you never know the way things are going these days between
I
La
had
La,
the same-
La La Land and who
Yeah,
knows,
well, there you go.
you know.
Yeah, well, I see it's kind of...
We're gonna do the sequel to La La Land?
Well, we're doing the musical version of Long Day's Journey into Night.
You're about, whether you know it or not, you'll probably be in the sequel of Call Me By My Name or whatever it's called, because they're talking about part 2, which means how old was the father in this one? How old will you be in this next one when the boy grows up?
I don't know. My guess would... Well, I guess
Be
we'll have
alive. Will you still be
to...
alive?
I hope so. I really hope so.
It'd be like Burgess Meredith.
Yeah, right. He just keeps coming back, you mean? I don't know.
What's your next project? Do you know, are you in production right now, you guys?
I just finished something. Michael's been doing a million things. I just finished a film about the life of Gore Vidal.
Did you play him?
No, I played his partner of 52 years, a man named Howard Austin. Kevin Spacey played Gore.
Brave how Kevin plays those parts, yet he's never come out, right? Sorry.
Oh, you had a thorny patch there, right? What the hell?
Michael just finished doing a play in Princeton, didn't you?
A play about Kevin Spacey. That's why he's never come out.
Sorry, I
I
said
did
that.
a play called Simpatico by Sam Shepard. With the guy, if he's still here, I don't know if you know. Oh, there he is. Hey, guy. Are you FaceTime? Oh no, the person behind you is FaceTime.
So you're coming back for Red Orchid.
Yeah, I'm gonna direct Guy in a play. He's gonna have to listen to everything I say. Yeah, I'm directing a play there. I don't know the next time I'll be on stage in Chicago. I don't know.
I heard you say on an interview that you were going to be directing a play at the work.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
That's what he just said. That's what he just said.
It's okay, we're very far away from one another. I'm holding a microphone, but they got the reverb on. I live in New York. I live in New York when I can. Yes. What I would love to do another show on Broadway. I'm trying, but it's hard.
How many weeks when you booked it separately, Long Days? How many weeks did you do?
I had a 16-week engagement. Yourself, sir?
3.5 months.
Yeah. You were in. Where did it start?
We opened it at the Stamford Center of the Arts, and then we ran it the ART in Cambridge at Harvard with Bill Camp and Claire Bloom and Dan O'Hurley. Actually, we had 4 fathers during the course of the run of the show. Yeah. Supposed to be Joe Mahar, who became ill before we started, and then Dan joined us, who was in his late 70s, so he couldn't do 2 shows in a day. So they found someone who had played it recently, a man named Bill Domkeller, who had done it up at Trinity Rep. And then finally they found someone who was the right age, who learned the part in 7 days and ran it with us for 3.5 months, a man named Jerome Kilty.
One last question out here somewhere. Yep. How about somebody way up
That's
there?
incredible, man.
Hold on, way up at where my board members live. Nobody?
Somebody right there.
There's something. We see a hand.
You just stand up and shout.
About Sally Hawkins.
Sally Hawkins.
What about Sally Hawkins?
Any anecdotes or working with her?
Any stories behind the scenes with Sally Hawkins? But she couldn't talk. How she?
She arrived on set, I think, at least a month beforehand, and started working on the sign language as early as possible. And I know she devoted herself to it to the point of almost making herself sick. I've never seen somebody sort of completely devote themselves as much as or any more than I had seen her devote herself to what she wanted to do with the character. I was worried about her there for a while. It was kind of remarkable to watch. Very passionate, and yeah, you could tell her heart that she connected with this role in a kind of a wonderful place. She had also spoken, oddly or not, when this project came, I think, into her life, she had been writing a story about a mermaid or something that had this kind of odd kismet with this project. You should, maybe there's a story about that in the press somewhere, but I know that it came along in her life at a really interesting place. But she was remarkably.
It's an honor to have you guys up here. You've received so many awards in your life, both of you, from Tony Awards to Oscar nominations to Directors Desk Awards and Spirit Awards. You have a new award from us now.
Thank you, Michael.
And,
Thanks for giving me that. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you.